Well, hello and welcome to Family Matters. I'm your host, Ray Johnson, and today we have a very important program. I know there's many of you out there that you're employed with a job that you're not happy with, and you're ready to move into entrepreneurship. We have just the man for you, so you stay tuned and we'll be right back.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
It may seem intimidating, but really, it's one of the easiest things you can ever do.
I've been practicing.
Good. You're gonna need it.
Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Well, welcome back to Family Matters, and as I said, we have a very special guest with us here today, Bob Yates. He's the founder of Circle of Champions Seminars. So we're excited to have you here on the show today, Bob, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great to be here, Ray. Thank you. My name is Bob Yates, and I am the founder of Circle of Champions, and what we do is we are a personal development corporation helping people to make the transition from employee to entrepreneur. But greater than that, for the most part, what we look to do is help people to find their purpose, because people are happy when they're doing what they are born to do. As a matter of fact, the only way to really be happy in life is there's only one way, and that's to fulfill your mission. And so our mission in From Employee to Entrepreneur is to help people to make that transition to doing work they really love.
To do. Yeah, and purpose is really what life is about.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
So many people will talk about a NBA player, NFL player, or whatever, and you'll talk to those people and they say, well, I would do this, I enjoy the money, but I would actually do this if it was free because I'm doing what I love to do and I'm fulfilling purpose.
Absolutely.
Well, Bob, and what you do and coming across people in everyday life, that there are a lot of those people that are out there and they're not growing and they're not being challenged by their work. So what can you tell us and what can you say to those people as we look to move into another direction, or they look to move in another direction in their life?
Here's what I want people to consider. There's a passage that says, what is your life? It's like a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. So when I look at employment or I look at doing anything in life, it's not just about a job. This is how you're spending your life. So if people are doing something every day that they're not fulfilled with, think about it. The cost of employment, if you're doing something that no longer fulfills you, how much time does it take a person to get ready in the morning? That might be a half an hour, 45 minutes. For some people, it's an hour. Then you drive to work. For some people in my seminars, they say, I commute 2 hours a day. So that's another 2 hours. Then for some, it might be an hour or less. Then they go to work. They work 8 hours. They come home, and they have to give the leftovers sometimes to their families, to their own dreams. And so when you really think about it, this is how you're spending your life. So our mission is to give people back more time, freedom, and control over their life, and especially doing something that they enjoy doing. I've had the wonderful privilege, and sometimes I feel like, why did this happen to me? But I'm glad it did. And that's this. I've never had a corporate job in my life. I've never worked in corporate America. I have several businesses, and I'll never have to work for someone else. There's a saying I heard one time that education will make you a living. And I'm not against education, but personal development will make you a fortune. And so I don't have the college degrees, but I have a dream. And I decided to go after that dream. And I find that for most people, they're stuck in certain places because even if they have a dream, they don't have the courage to pursue it.
There you go.
So people stay in jobs that they don't like. They stay around people they don't like. They stay in these situations because it's the known. Making the transition to entrepreneurship And here's how entrepreneurs think. Think about this. Entrepreneurs see employment as risky.
Okay.
Employees see entrepreneurship as risky.
It's risky. Okay.
Think about this. I think that if, imagine if you were an employee, you come to your dinner table and you sit down at the table and you gather your family around at the dinner table. And then in comes your boss and he sits at the head of the table. Why does he sit at the head of the table? Because he really decides what you're going to put on the table, if you're going to put something on the table.
Yes.
And at any time, they could say, we don't need you anymore. So he controls. That's too much control for most people. Now, I don't bash employment, but that's the risky part of employment for me, is that I have many people come to my seminars, and without any warning, after years of faithful, loyal service,
Right.
they were told, they walk in one day to come to work, and they were basically told, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah, I just had a friend literally happen to that just a little while ago. They showed up Friday, did their work like they normally do. 5 minutes before the day was over, we need to see you, and told them this is your last day, we're cutting back.
Yeah, because there's really no such thing as job security anymore.
Yes.
And for some people that think that they're secure and they think that working a job gives them a sense of security, yeah, you have your paycheck that comes every 2 weeks. But for the most part, it is very risky. And now, here's the other side of that. The people that are sitting in their jobs every day that really are really somewhere else. They're there physically, but they're not there. They're waiting for 5 o'clock. They're waiting for lunch breaks. They're on the internet surfing. They're doing everything else to avoid being there. And I think that that's really as tragic to live your life like that. So when we look at making the transition from employee to entrepreneur, we're not just talking about, I want to get out of a crappy job, I don't like my boss. We're talking about moving into purpose, moving into something that you're wired to do. And I believe God has given each one of us something that we can do. We can serve people, we can add value, and we can become wealthy doing it.
Wealthy doing it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the ultimate goal, is doing something you enjoy doing. And oh, by the way,
absolutely,
it makes me wealthy.
It's a wonderful thing.
So you really can. What about those people out there say, I'm not even sure what my gift is? How can you help that person that's sitting there going, I know I don't like what I'm doing, but I don't know how to go about figuring out what I really, what is my purpose? How do I, help me with that?
That's a big question. A lot of people, well, first of all, I think everyone needs to accept that I'm brilliant at something. Okay, maybe you don't know what that is yet, but trust me, you have it. It's in your DNA. Your cells have memory. Your cells know what you're born to do. And as a matter of fact, if we follow our hearts a little bit more, it'll lead us to what we love, to what we should be doing. So I find that all people that live on purpose have 4 things in common. And this is not new news. It's not uncommon, but it's uncommonly practiced. People don't practice it. Number 1, most people that are successful love what they do. And everybody loves to do something. Number 2, they're good at it. Number 3, it's important to them. And number 4, they feel like they're born to do it. Now, I'm going to answer that question. But if you think about what a person loves to do, that speaks of their passion. What they're good at speaks of their gift. What's important to them speaks of their values. And what they feel born to do speaks of their mission. So a person needs to look at, what's important to me? What do I care about? Let's start there. See, I care about people drifting and wasting their lives.
Yes.
That bothers me. Well, everybody has something that bothers them.
Yes.
Something that they can't stand to see happening in people's lives. So I think that a person needs to look at what's important. Of course, what do I love? What do I good? What comes natural to me that doesn't come natural to other people? For instance, I'll give you an example. In school, I wasn't good in math, but English I loved. It was easy for me in English. And I've always loved words and the power of words and how they can change people's lives. And so, for the most part, I think that everybody has these 4 elements. I think we have to start with those things. What we love, what we're good at, what's important, what do I feel that I'm here for? And if they don't know, then we have seminars that help them to find out.
Help them do that. And, one of the things I look at when dealing with people is a lot of times people are seeking a self-development and they think through education and that self-development is going to give them fulfillment.
True.
But that self-development doesn't necessarily give them fulfillment, because you can get all this education, you can do all these things, and that's good. And then you can still go sit in a job that you don't like.
Well, there are people with degrees. I mean, they went through college, they worked for 4 years to get a degree doing one thing, and they're a stock clerk. They're doing something totally unrelated to their degrees. So, you know, the process of finding that comes different for everyone. But I think everyone has at least some things that they gravitate towards. You know, if I hear somebody talking about entrepreneurship, I naturally gravitate towards it. Or dreams.
Right.
And so I think that's, you know, everyone has to find that, and I think that's the beginning of success. Now, the second thing is having the courage, once you find it, to pursue it.
I work in the local school system here a lot, and one of the things I talk to the children about is have a dream. You know, I always talk to them about having a dream.
Yes.
So I'll tell them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Tell me what you want to be when you grow up. So what I'll do to them is, as they tell me what they want to be, then when I see them, I'll say, oh, that's my supermodel. You know, I'll call them by what they said they want to be. But here's the other thing I challenge them with. That's what you said you want to be. What kind of decisions are you making now that will help you accomplish what you say you want to be?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the other part, is that the dream is the beginning. I like the fact that you brought up kids, because, see, many adults have stopped dreaming. There's a saying that most adults, they die at 21, but they're not buried until they're 65.
Right.
Okay, that means they're still here, but they stopped living, they stopped dreaming. And I think that the fear of rejection, the fear of whether or not I'm capable of doing it, one of the things that I've learned that's most powerful is this. I thought I had to have a college education to be successful, and I'm not against that.
Right, yes.
I thought the bumblebee doesn't know that he can't fly.
Right.
The law of aerodynamics says the bumblebee cannot fly because his wingspan is too short, his body's too big, he can't fly. The bumblebee didn't read that. He doesn't know that. So he flies anyway. Right. So I decided, you know, I didn't know that you had to be a brainiac to be successful. So here I am, a Southeast boy, Southeast Washington, D.C. I grew up very, very normal. Nobody in my family has really achieved anything beyond normal. Right. But, you know, I would say one of the secrets to success, and even people that want to know their purpose, well, the purpose maker, God gave us a purpose here. And I pursued the book of Proverbs. It happened to be my school. Yes. And wisdom comes from, you know, God. And so that's how I got it. So I think these are the things that we encourage people. And number one, you have to stop not giving yourself a chance or disqualifying your own self before you even try. You know, the average time that an adult will try something and give up, I can tell you, my daughter, I've watched her try 20, 30, 40 times to do something before she give up. The average adult will try, they'll quit before they even start. Wow. So it's less than one. Okay. Less than one. So I think that we have a system in place, our Entrepreneurs Network, where we help people. We provide a support base because we know it's very fearful for most people to leave traditional employment, to leave what's safe and secure, and to step out on their own. Because there is a risk. We're not going to make it seem like it's easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Now, when we come back, I want to get into that, how they can transition from that employee to entrepreneurship. And you touched on it a little bit about having the time, and people will, you know, we'll say make excuses, but they'll talk about having the time, the financial freedom, and the options. So when we come back from this break, we want to get into that and how we can encourage someone to start making that transition.
Absolutely.
All right? So you stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Listen up, energy hogs. We got a real porker of a house here. Get in there and waste some energy.
There's no insulation, boss. It's hog heaven.
Leaky windows, too. This is gonna be a breeze. Perfect. Go wild and waste some wattage.
Time to tan. Oh, there's hot water for just one pair of pants. My kind of place.
Wow, this thing's so old it's gonna take me hours to get dry.
Keep wasting. They'll never know what hit them till they get the energy bill.
What the? Boss, they're home, and they've got energy-efficient bulbs. Ah!
You've got
got the power to get rid of energy hogs. You can help your parents add insulation, put in Energy Star appliances, and lots of other things to make your home hog-free. Find out how at energyhog.org and play fun games, too.
Oh, retreat! Retreat!
Go to energyhog.org and get the energy hogs out of your home.
Hey, wait for me!
When I do it, I feel the blood rushing through me, and I keep going back for more.
Carmen Castillo is under the influence of Dana, her volunteer trainer.
Come on, let me see you show shit.
By spending just 1 day a week with kids like Carmen, Dana helps them develop interests that keep them away from drugs. Be a coach, a mentor, a volunteer, because you have something to offer.
Well, welcome back to Family Matters. As I said, we're here with Bob Yates, the founder of Circle of Champions Seminars. Now, we had a fantastic conversation that first half, and it's only going to get more better as we continue down this road. Now, Bob, one of the things we were starting to touch on a little bit as we start transitioning into encouraging people and giving them that courage to step out and make that move, a lot of it deals with, well, I don't have the financial means to actually make that move. Let's start talking about that a little bit.
Well, you know, one of the greatest secrets of entrepreneurs, here's how the entrepreneur thinks. If an entrepreneur saw a piece of property, he says, I'm getting that piece of property over there. And he will tie it up with whatever he has while he figures out how to get the money to get it. Now, that's one way an entrepreneur thinks. But let me tell you, any dream I've ever had in my life, when I stepped out to do it, I didn't necessarily have the money to do it. There is a principle that when you move, things begin to move. Now, some things will never show up in your life, and some people will never show up in your life until a person begins to move into their dream. And so your dream is like a magnet. Your vision is like a magnet. It will attract those things in. So you can start a business. You can't build a multi-million-dollar business without any money, but you can certainly start without money because I've done that. There are people, the way the universe is set up is that God has earmarked people that are ready. It's like when you show up, they'll show up. When you show up, the money will begin to show up. All the things that are within that dream will begin to come. Now, there are, of course, most entrepreneurs, if they need to get started and they need physical resources, they'll turn to credit cards. Look, we use credit cards on everything else.
Yeah,
you know,
they'll do that.
If you think about most credit card consumer debt, it's stuff that's wasted on stuff that does not bring any type of return. So I would say you look at your personal resources first, your savings, any type of investment money or whatever. You start with what you start. But I would think the biggest thing, from my experience, is that you start with a dream. You begin to move in that direction. And I would not worry about what I think I don't have. The dream itself is pregnant with everything that's needed to make it happen.
Yeah. One of the things I saying, you know, is that God provides in the pursuing stage, not in the planning stage.
Yes.
So a lot of people get caught in having the perfect plan, and they feel until I have the perfect plan, until I have every answer, I'm not going to be able to do it. But he shows us in the vision the end from the beginning, but he doesn't necessarily show us all of the roadblocks, because most of us would quit if we seen every challenge that we had.
What did he say to Abraham? He said, Abraham, go and I will show you.
I'll show you, as he was going.
And Abraham went not knowing where he was going. Sometimes I can honestly say, I will look up and say, wow, I can't believe you're even doing this. What are you doing, Bob Yates?
Yeah.
You just said, you just rented this, you just made this commitment. You have, look, for instance, when I do a seminar, I have no idea who's going to show up, so I've got hotels rented. I've got flyers put out. I've spent money.
You're operating in faith. It's faith. It comes back to faith.
Yes, yes. And that's the only way you build anything. If you do any research, anyone that's ever accomplished anything didn't know how they were going to do it, and they didn't know how it's going to turn out. Do you know that is really the juice of entrepreneurship? Yeah. It's the unknown. It's what makes it exciting. If I knew every day what was going to happen and how it was going to happen, that would be boring. That's what employment is for a lot of people.
You go.
They know what they're going to happen. They know what's going to happen every day. They know what they're going to see. They know how much money they're going to get paid. Here's what's beautiful about entrepreneurship is that I don't know if I'm going to get paid every 2 weeks. I may get paid every day. I may get paid big payoffs for, you know, a month of work. Maybe if, look, here's the way I look at it. If I work a whole month and I don't get a big return, every day that I put in time was seed sown. Nothing was wasted.
Yes.
But entrepreneurs go and they understand the big returns. I keep sowing those seeds, it's going to come back. So that's the power of a dream and moving forward, is that there's somebody out there listening to me right now, and you're looking for all the ducks to line up in a row, and you're waiting for a sign, and you're waiting for someone to confirm that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Can I say to you that most people will not affirm your dream? They won't see it. God didn't send a memo to everyone else about what you're supposed to do. So I want to encourage you to follow that little spark, that little dream that you have, and watch how amazing things will happen to make that come to pass.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned in one of the shows we're going to do is dealing with finances, you know, and how using your home may be the thing that you need to use, you know, the equity out of your home to start that dream going forward. Like myself, I'm a businessman also as an investor, you know, and I do those things, and that's what I did. I had to take what I had and start taking the risk and moving forward in that, and that's what I personally had to do myself.
Yes.
So fear, let's talk about that fear factor. And there's people sitting there now, they're listening, but they still have that fear of failure.
Yeah.
And, you know, most people who have ever succeeded, what did they do first?
Oh, they're the master failures. Everyone who was a master was once a disaster. And so, you know, that's, let's talk about fear. I mean, really, you've heard the acronym, fear is false evidence appearing real. When you think false evidence appearing real, most of the things we fear in life don't happen. But even if a person does fail, it's the Thomas Edison strategy. 10,000 failures.
Yes.
If that's really the case, and I believe it is, in order to succeed. There is a principle that I learned some time ago, that if I fall down and make a mistake, God says, get up and make another one, son. That was great. Get up and make another mistake. Most people have been taught not to make mistakes. When you think about it, in school, we were taught to stay within the lines, draw between the lines, and so don't go outside the lines. If a person is ever to achieve anything, it's like the person... yeah, I'll use Michael Jordan or someone on a basketball court. If they're afraid to take the game-winning shot, they can never make history.
Yes.
And so, fear. Anyone that's listening today, we're just going to have to get used to stepping into fear, because everyone is afraid. Entrepreneurs that walk away from employment and their steady paycheck to launch out into their own business. When I launched out, I knew I never worked a job, but I worked for a church for 7 years, and I had a paycheck. I had health benefits. I had all of that. When the money dried up at that organization, they couldn't pay us anymore. Everyone was panicking. What do I do? I said, this is my opportunity. I've been wanting out of here because I'm not born to be an employee. But it was the closest thing to employment I've ever felt. I had just built a brand new house, had a new Mercedes-Benz, just purchased it, and all the money dried up. I knew that I could fail and lose my house, lose my fiance, lose everything, and I decided to go for it. That was 10 years ago. Never missed a house note, never lost a car, never lost any of that. And at the time, I had no idea how I was going to make it. There are a different set of rules that apply to people that take risk in life.
Yes.
It's like a different set of laws, a different set of rules. And they don't apply to people that sit in the bleachers.
Right.
So a person can decide whether they're going to play in the game, but unless, you know, I would say take baby steps. Start with something that's just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Take some steps. Start preparing for your transition. Start preparing to move forward. And set a goal and set a date for it. And watch amazing things will begin to happen to help that to come to pass. So there's no absence of fear here. I'm still afraid today.
Yes.
Because what I've done today is only a fraction of what I'm capable of. So now I have to move out into the unknown again. I have to take new risks. If I want to take my company global, that's what I have to do.
Okay. Now, one of the things we want to talk about now as we transition into this, people may have that desire, they may have that dream, and they're listening to you and they're saying, yes, I'm going to jump, I'm going to go for it, but I don't have any idea what the first step is. And I believe that's where what you do comes into play.
Yes.
Talk a little bit to us about your organization and how you can help train people to actually be able to pursue that dream? They have to take the step, but then how you can help.
What we've done is we've made it easier. For most people that are entrepreneurs like I was, they're lone rangers. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of in the nature. Kind of little rebels, radicals. I mean, it's a little bit of that in there. It has to be. You rebel against the status quo. I don't want to be an employee all my life. Yeah. So what I did is that when I was a young entrepreneur, I didn't really have many people that understood my struggles because they were 9-to-5ers. So I said, what could I do to make it easier for entrepreneurs? So what we formed is an entrepreneurs network.
Okay.
It's a network of entrepreneurs, CEOs, movers and shakers, people that have dreams and visions and wants to change the world. Yes. And so now, rather than getting motivated at a seminar or even by a broadcast like this, you can actually join a network of people who are like-minded, who you can be around. They can help you. They've been where you're trying to go. They've made the transition, gone through the fear, navigated that type of terrain, and they understand the game. Okay. That's what we've set up as the Circle of Champions Entrepreneurs Network, and we have ongoing training, ongoing seminars, ongoing workshops, and they can find out about us on the web and call in our office and find out about our upcoming seminars. But that's what we've done, is created a support base for people that want to make the transition. Okay.
And again, that's a biblical principle, right? To follow after those who through faith and patience they've already accomplished.
Absolutely.
They've already been there, so you can follow someone that has already accomplished. Yes. Well, give us some more information about what you have coming up, and give us some phone numbers and websites and that type of thing.
We have designed a seminar called From Employee to Entrepreneur, but the bigger seminar is in March. It's a 3-day event. Okay. And that's the March 27th through the 30th. It's called From Employee to CEO. The reason why we want 3 days with people, and we want employees to take off work and spend the day with entrepreneurs.
How about investing some of that leave time into their own future?
Absolutely. And you know, if you want to be an entrepreneur, some things are better caught than taught.
Yeah.
So they need to be around that environment, catch the attitude, catch the spirit. And so for 3 days, we'll be sort of detoxing people from employment and helping them to make the transition. Now, we're really speaking to people who have this call to entrepreneurship. Everybody won't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
There's going to be some people that they're comfortable with employment, and that's what they love.
Right.
If you love it, keep doing it.
Yes.
But what we're talking about is people who are miserable and not challenged and want to move on with their lives.
Yes.
So that seminar, and throughout the year, we have monthly events that will train people to become entrepreneurs. If a person really wants to do it, we've set up a way that they can make it happen.
Okay. Now give us your phone number and the website again, and we'll put it on the screen also.
There's two, and the main website is www.circleofchampions.com. But circleofchampions.com is our main website, and our phone number is 301-218-2188. You can call our office, and we'll be glad to tell you how you can get involved with the Entrepreneurs Network and how you can become a part of a growing organization that will just take you to dimensions that you never dreamed of.
Okay. And this is for that person that maybe is just getting ready to start or already has a small business that they're just looking to grow and learn some things and take it to a next level.
That's important that you asked, because the Entrepreneurs Network is comprised of CEOs as well as people that are just getting started, because it's mentoring. It's mentoring, it's strategic alliances, and for those that are entrepreneurs and have successful businesses, what we do is connect clients with their businesses. Okay. Most businesses want new clients, and our network creates that cross-pollination, but also the alliances and the customers that need that business. And so it's a win-win for everybody. It's a WWW.
All right.
Circle of Champions wins, the businesses win, the employees that come in win, everyone wins.
Well, great. Well, Bob, it's been nice having you here.
Thank you so much for having me
today. And you can see we just talked for 30 minutes that they can talk about this for days and continue on throughout history as they help you succeed in every area of life. So once again, we thank you for tuning in to Family Matters, and as always, it is our desire that your family would continue to be one of love, joy, and peace. Until next time, you have a great day.